Okay, so we're going to learn how to divide by greater numbers. We just finished learning how to divide with two-digit divisors, and so now we're going to go to four-digit dividends with our two-digit divisors. So our problem of the day: a number is divided by 12. When a number is divided by 12, when the quotient is multiplied by 15, the product is 270. What is the number? Give you guys a few minutes to work on this on your whiteboards. All right, so the first thing we need to do is say, okay, we need to figure out, we have 12, we have 270, and we have 15. We need to find a quotient. Okay? A quotient is what?
The answer to a division problem.
It's the answer to a division problem, correct. So the quotient is multiplied by 15. Multiplied. So we're going to use the letter Q for our quotient, and that's going to be multiplied by 15, and that's going to equal 270. Can we solve what our quotient is going to be with this equation? Yes, we can. All we have to do is divide 270 by 15. So 15 cannot go into 2. 15 goes into 27 once. We subtract. Bring down our 0. 120. 15 can go into 120 how many times?
120. Oh, wait, sorry.
How many times can 15 go into 120?
4. 3.
3 times 15 is 120?
No. Oh. 4. 5.
Let's see, 15. The largest number I've heard so far is 5. 15 times 5 is 25.
Yeah, 4. 6.
Is this close to 120?
No. 7.
Well, 7 is going to give me a 5 at the end.
8.
Let's try 8. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 4 is, there it is. So it's 18. So 18 times 15 equals 270. Okay? So I found my quotient is 18. Now what do I need to do?
So how you got the answer?
Well, I have to figure out, my quotient is 18 when a number is divided by 12. I want to know what this number is. So now I have 18 times 12 equals my number. Who can tell me what 18 times 12 is? What's 18 times 12? I feel like the Jeopardy game show host right now. I'm sorry, what was that, Williamson?
216.
216. Right, because 2 times 18 is 36, and then 10 times 18 is 180. We add those together and we get 216. Okay? So my answer for what I'm looking for, what is the number? 216. Okay? All right, divide. We're going to check each answer with by rounding, by estimating. Work on that on your whiteboards. Okay. Check your answers. All right. Yes. No, this is not in your book yet. The next one that I do will be in your book. So I'm going to do this one for you, and then we'll do the next one together. So, check it out. Stop. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at 37, and I'm going to say, okay, 37 cannot go into 5. So I have to make 37 smaller. Okay? All right, not 37, sorry. I have to go to the next digit, which is the 3. So now 37, 53. Now, I can sit here and try to figure this out the whole time, or what I can do is I can cover up to 1's place and say, okay, 3 goes into 5. How many times?
1 time.
1 time. Okay? Now, once I do that, typically my answer is going to be within 1 digit. It's either going to be 1 is going to be correct, or it's going to be 2 or a digit below it. In this case, there is no digit below 1. So we'll find out. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 3 is 3. So now I have 37. I cannot subtract 3 from 7, so I have to regroup. 13 subtract 7 is 6. 4 subtract 3 is 1. Now, 16 is less than 37, so far I'm good. Now I bring down my 9. Now I have 169 divided by 37. Again, these numbers are big and they're hard to work with. If I cover up the 9 and the 7, I now have 16 and 3. How many times does 3 go into 16?
5.
5 times, right? Like I said, it usually puts me within a digit. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my 5. 5 times 7 is 35. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 3 is 18. That's too big, huh? So since that's too big, what am I going to do with my 5? What am I going to do with my 5? Right, I'm going to make my 5 smaller, correct? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go from 5 to 4. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. Much better. 9 minus 8 is 1. 6 minus 4 is 2. That's a 0. 21 is less than 37. I'm good. Now I bring down my 2. 212. I'm having the same problem over and over and over. Do you guys see what's happening?
Yeah.
These numbers are huge and they're hard to work with. So if I take my little boxes here and I cover up my 1's place again, I can say 3 goes into 21 how many times? 7. Now, if I don't want to waste my time, I already know that 7 times 3 is 21, and when I do 7 times 7, I'm going to have to add something to it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I can't add something to it because it's going to give me a number that's ridiculous. Okay? So, instead, I'm going to automatically go down to 6. Okay? So 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times 3 is 18 plus 4, that's 22. What's wrong? What's wrong?
It's too big.
It's too big. So what am I going to do with my 6?
Make it 5.
I'm going to make it a 5. Okay? I'm not trying to use my covering up the ones place to find the exact digit. I'm using it so it can help me 35, 15, 18. 12 minus 5 is 7. That's a 0 now, that's a 1. Regroup, that's 2. 27 is less than 37, I'm okay. Now I also have to bring down my 4. So now I'm in the same boat. 274, 37. So we can do it again. Three times what equals 27? It's 3 times 9. Have fun at band. So 3 times 9 is 27. I already can tell you it's too big. Yes.
How'd you get 0 when you subtract?
The 0 here?
Yeah.
When I regrouped, I changed my 1 to a 0.
Oh.
Because I took the 1 over here to the 12, so I could subtract 2 from 5.
Oh.
Alright? So now, do this, that's 9. 9's going to be too big, because 9, that's going to be 27, that's going to add 6 to it. So I think I'm going to be actually at like 7. Because 8, I think, is going to be too big. Alright? So 7 times 7 is 49. 21, that's 25. And I think I did good. That's going to 14, 5, 15. Okay? It's a long process. It's a long process because there's big numbers. It's not a long process because it's difficult. Alright? Now they're using a 3-digit divisor. Same thing. You go 125 goes into 594. It's going to be 4 times. Okay? That's going to give me 500. $943. It's going to be 7. 7 times 5 is 35. 14 is 17. 8. Subtract it. $68. So it's 47. Remainder 68. Okay. All right. Here's the examples from your book. There's a large city that has a total of 22,500 students that ride a bus to school. There are 75 different schools within the city. How many students are dropped off at each school? If an equal number of students are dropped off at each school. So we're going to let S represent the number of students. And we're going to try to figure this out. So we have 22,500 students. And we need to divide that equally by, so that's that number. We have to divide that equally by 75 schools. Okay? So, look, we have 75 and 220 and 75 and 22,500. So 75 cannot go into 2. 75 cannot go into 22. So 75 goes into 225 how many times? Well, this is where I like to do this. Because 75 going into 220, those numbers are big. They're hard to work with. So I need to find something that will put me close. So 7 can go into 22 how many times?
3.
3 times. So that's the first number we're going to try. Okay? 3. 3 times 5 is 25. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 2 is 23. Now I subtract. Oh,
It's too big.
it's too big, huh? Well, it's only too big because I messed up. Did you guys see what I did? You guys are supposed to catch my mistakes. Mr. Bedwell, 3 times 5 is not 25. 3 times 5 is what?
15.
15. Well, if I would have multiplied that correctly, then 3 times 7 is
21.
plus 1.
22.
There we go. That's 0. I have to bring down my 0. 75 goes into 0, 0 times. I have to bring down my other 0. 75 goes into 0, 0 times. So, this is 300. Okay? So, 22,500 divided by 75 is 300. Since S equals 300, 300 students are dropped off from each school. Alright? Good enough? Good enough. Here we go again. Now, in this case, they want to estimate the quotient of 46,535 and 152. Then divide. And they want to know, is 36, that number right there, a reasonable quotient? And they want you to explain it. So the first thing we're going to do is go like this and say, okay, let's figure this out. I drop the zeros because it gives me smaller numbers to work with. I'm going to look at 15 and 45. 15 times what equals 45? Times 3. So I got rid of those, and okay, there's 2 zeros. So it's 300. That's my estimate. Now I'm going to solve for 46,534 divided by 152. And we're going to do the same thing. We look 152, 460. It cannot go into 4, cannot go into 46, so we're looking at 465. Okay? I'm only going to look at 15 and 46. 15 goes into 46. Should be about 3 times according to my answer up here. Okay? So I put a 3 up there. That's 6. It's 15. That's 4. Looks reasonable. 5, 15. That's 93. 152 cannot go into 93, so I have to put a 0. Okay? I bring it all down. See, there's my 3 that I brought down. Now I bring down the 4 to put at the end. 934. Again, this is a very, very large number. So I'm only going to look at 93 and 15. Okay? Now I knew that 3 times 15 is 45. 45 is half of 90. So 6 times 15 is 90, which is going to get me close to my 93, right? So 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 5 is 30 plus 1 is 31. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 3 is 9. My remainder is 22. 22 is less than 152, so I'm okay. All right. You guys see all that?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm left-handed. I'm your way.
Are you left-handed?
No, I just write with it. Take those glasses off in my caution. All right. We're moving.
No.
Yep. So since the estimate is 300, and the actual quotient is 306, remainder 22. A quotient of 36 is not reasonable. Okay? Now, your homework for this section activity, even problems of the independent practice on pages 279 and 208. Just the even problems. You don't have to do the odd problems because you have to do lesson 3 as well tonight. Okay? So, right now, this is, I'll help you with this one. 25 goes into 47 one time. Okay? They subtracted, it's 22. Bring down the 8. We have 228 minus 225 is 3. That's 30. It's 25. Subtract it, it's 5. Bring down the 0, it's 50. They get 50. And so I need to figure out what's in the square. Well, I know that this is my answer for what's in the square. Okay? So every time you do this, this is what you're looking at. So each one of these numbers here, you can look at as their independent division problems, okay? So if I divide these two, it's going to tell me what my quotient is. I know that it has to end in 5, right?
Yep.
And remember how I told you we can cover the ones place? But if I cover the ones place here, I'm going to go to like 11. Well, that's way too big, right? So what's my closest single digit number to 11?
10. Oh, no, 9.
All right, Gibber, you had me scared for a second. You said that 10 was a single digit number. So 9. 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 2 is 18 plus 4 is... Look at that. Huh. So my answer is 9. Okay. Now, you have plenty of examples. You're going to do just the even problems through here. All right. So that'll put you all the way to 18. It's a whopping 9 problems. Okay, just like that. Don't forget your answers will be on the YouTube video. If you want to check it when you get home, you may do so.
Why are you